Lugdunum, the Roman name for present-day Lyon. From the hill of Fourvière, just 5 kilometres across the rooftops, you arrive at an area known in Roman times as Villeururbana. The name evolved over the years into Villeurbanne, which is now an independent town with around 160,000 inhabitants. The focal point of Villeurbanne is the Art Deco style Hôtel de Ville, or Town Hall. An ambitious scheme for the time included 2 17-storey apartments in the 1930s within a central development zone. The towers gave name to the area Gratte-Ciel, that is French for skyscraper. It was part of a municipal housing scheme intended for the many workers in the local industries which flourished nearby at that time. An apartment in the style of the 1930s has been retained by the town in one of the buildings, part of the local heritage. Moving about a kilometre to the east is the district Prelier, which was developed in the late 1960s. The ambition and ideas of the Gratte-Ciel was long forgotten and lost, which resulted in a less enlightened style of architecture. To balance high-rise and high-density housing, it is vital that open spaces are retained around to balance it. The Lyon area boasts an integrated transport system with buses, trams and metro all using a same ticket valid for 1 hour. A recent innovation of the council provides bicycle pick-up points where a bike can be hired in one place for a modest sum and then dropped off elsewhere. However, the encroachment of the many cycle lanes has not proved popular with the motorists. The long delays at traffic lights and stationary traffic cannot help pollution levels. There is a local policy to preserve the frontages of older industrial buildings and bring them back into use. It rather defeats this object when new buildings are built in front of them, or the architectural features are not aligned through into adjacent concrete buildings. There is a good provision of amenity buildings offering many facilities for the numerous community groups and societies. The older district of Grand Clément retains something of a French urban charm, with its 1860 church and the former council house, which is now a post office. The style of these buildings are more pleasing at high level, but the character has been lost with the intrusion of shop signs and advertising. It is more than a pity that the place has been destroyed visually, with these lack of imagination and out-of-scale apartments built in the 1960s. There are calls for them to be demolished. An old passenger and freight railway line which served until recently some local factories, in consultation and involvement of the local community, it has been reopened as a modern tramway. The line now extends from the centre of Lyon right out to the city's international airports. In the Second World War, the station bore witness to a dark event in the district's history. Over 300 local men were randomly rounded up by the occupying Nazis on the 1st of March 1943. They were deported from this station to work camps in Germany, and only 60 of them returned. In remembrance, every year, on the anniversary, a mass is held and attended by the local dignitaries and local people. There is a solemn parade to places of homage where prisoners were rounded up at random and taken before their transportation. They were all young men of working age, regardless of creed or culture. Finally, a short memorial service and wreath placing ceremony is held. There is evidence around the district of places and roads named as a witness to this sad event. The 8th of December is a significant day in Lyon and the surrounding area. It is a day when Lyon gives thanks to the Virgin Mary, patron saint of Lyon, for saving the city from the ravages of the plague in 1643. On the 8th of December 1852, the day of the inauguration of a golden statue on the dome of the basilica, a violent storm erupted and the event was cancelled. The people of Lyon spontaneously lit candles and placed them in their windows, a tradition which still continues today. In the past decade, the religious event has been overtaken by a commercial fête de lumière, when thousands of people crowd the streets. The fête has now extended to Villeurbanne with street animations and some remarkable events. In the Place Grand Clément, the fête was celebrated on the 8th of December for the first time last year. There was a hint of the original celebration with the lighting of candles and more traditional songs from a local choir. Villeurbanne is still developing, but mostly upwards, as its local town limits are rigidly defined. It has been vied for many times by the Big Lion, or Lyon, and it remains with its own identity and strictly independent in the true sense of the Roman name Villeurbana.